About the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Don't miss Kinner and Kev, weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Coming to you live from the Superbook Sports Studios in Kettering. You're listening to Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is lately, but it's something about around 3 o'clock. Now, we probably bore the hell out of everybody, and we probably is what makes you tired. Why the hell are we so tired at 3 o'clock? It has to be like you're as healthy as you have ever been. All right, you're the 75-day challenge.
Yeah,
it's officially challenging, right?
It is definitely challenging. I'm on day 51. Day 51. Damn. Yeah, man. We're rocking. We're rolling. Doing our 1-2 thing, man. Lots of water. Lots of working out. We're connected on the Apple Watches, right?
Yep. I don't know where mine is at the moment.
So you're not getting my alerts?
No, I've been getting your alerts. I just don't have mine on today because I can't find the I've lost my laptop charger. Can't find my Apple Watch charger. We have like a ton of Apple Watch chargers everywhere between me and my wife, and I still can't find mine. But it's somewhere. But it'll be back on. But yes, I do get your notifications.
It's not giving you motivation?
No, it makes me feel worse about myself. It makes me feel worse about myself. I'm just saying. Like, I'm past the peer pressure don't get me no more.
I see.
It doesn't get me anymore. In fact, it just leads to constant depression.
Well, it's actually motivated the wife. She has actually come to work out with me twice a week. And she works out on Saturday. No, she trains on Sundays. So she comes to the gym with me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So she's been motivated. So I'm helping people one Apple Watch at a time.
Well, again, I gotta pick it up. I got to pick up the energy. We welcome you in. It's the Kinner and Kev Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. We're live on Chatterbox Sports on YouTube, and we welcome you in. Happy Tuesday. Big week. Again, we're getting closer and closer to the NFL Draft, and we'll have some draft talk coming up here in just a bit. And it's like the production studio right there with the way that thing's going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Little ghost movement. Yeah. Little ghost movement. But we got plenty of NFL Draft coverage coming your way today. In fact, Jason Fitz, friend of the show, of course, Jason Fitz comes on with us every week throughout the NFL season. He's making a special appearance here today. Again, just a few days away from the NFL Draft, so we'll get his thoughts. He's a big Raiders fan, but again, very well in sync with everything in the NFL, covering the draft. I know he just landed. He texted me a little bit ago, just landed in Los Angeles. Or no, he will be landing in Los Angeles. No, but right about now. And he said he'd be good to go for 4 o'clock coming up around the corner. Nice. So we'll chat with him here in just a little bit. But we kick off the show with a little what's trending. What are some of the big storylines that kind of has everyone talking right now? As the show was dying yesterday, Kev, it was announced that, one of the bigger headlines with the Ohio State Buckeyes on the football field, obviously, you get Tony Alford who leaves and takes the, running backs coaching position against that, for that team up north. And then Dallin Hayden enters the transfer portal a week before the spring game, which caught people by surprise. Many people thought that he would be, following Tony Alford to Michigan. That is not the case. Well, this coach that he is playing for is not hard to find, and he found him, and now he will be playing for Deion Sanders in Colorado.
Hopefully he's going to bring some transfer offensive linemen with him, because that offensive line out there in Colorado was bad last year, and they only have 3 scholarship offensive linemen on their roster right now. And everybody always talks about, oh, man, just get them in the portal. Well, there's a reason a lot of these guys are in the portal. I know in basketball, a lot of guys ultimately leave their school because, all right, there's a bag out there. 9 times out of 10, high-quality offensive linemen are taken care of at their school. So hopefully for Dallin Hayden's sake, hopefully for Shador's sake, hopefully for Coach Prime's sake, they're able to get some quality offensive linemen out there in Colorado to protect the passing game and open holes for the run game.
Yeah, because that's going to be key. I mean, again, losing a talent like Dallin Hayden a problem for Ohio State, but at the same time, that's a big get for Colorado.
Absolutely.
Because you have your receivers, you have your star quarterback. Obviously, it's about the big guys up front, as you talked about. But, and look, Ohio State last year, we knew how good the skill position players were. One of the deepest running back rooms in all of college football, one of the deepest wide receiver rooms in all of college football. Despite the fact that we've been spoiled as Buckeye fans with quarterback play over the last decade, Kyle McCord was not a horrible quarterback. He was not aesthetically, pleasing compared to the quarterbacks that we've watched in recent memory. But a lot of the struggles for the Buckeye offense last year came from the offensive line. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're Dallin Hayden, you're following the same problem. Even the bad offensive line for Ohio State was not as bad as the offensive line he's going to play and run behind. So that bag that he got, it had to have been worth it at the end of the day. And I think, look, playing for Deion's a fun opportunity and all that. But, we'll see what ends up happening when it's all said and done. Speaking of Colorado, they end up losing. What's interesting enough, they ended up losing a couple big pieces to the portal, right? And part of that, conversation started to lead to the fact that some of these guys that had left started coming out to the media and basically blasting Deion Sanders, saying that, one of them was a 5-star defensive back, transferring out of Colorado, saying he wants to play for a real program and not for clicks. So Dallin Hayden, that's a big addition for Colorado, but you have even bigger names, better players leaving the program, basically calling out Deion in Colorado, saying, hey, I want to play for a real program and not play for a program for clicks.
Yeah, Cromartie McClain, 5-star cornerback coming out of high school, went to Colorado. I remember even like halfway through the season last year, he wasn't starting. He wasn't getting a lot of playing time. And like the media asked him about, why isn't he playing? It's like, well, he's not doing the proper things that he needs to do. Like obviously in the classroom, showing up to meetings on time, things of that nature, the small things that, we kind of like take for granted as fans. Like, of course they're going to class. Of course they're going to meetings on time. Like these are young adults. Like we have grown people that can't show up for work on time. So to expect a 20-year-old to show up on time all the time and them to be at the right place at the right time is a chore. And it was a chore for Cromartie McClain. And now he hits the portal. And the one thing about it is, as talented as he was coming out of high school, there's just as many talented guys coming out of high school right now and proven commodities at the college game. So I'm not sure where he's going to land. And also kind of bad mouthing the program. Guess what? They can bad mouth you as well. When, just believe whatever school you're going to go to, they're going to call Colorado. They have connections too. They may not be talking directly to Coach Prime, but they're going to talk to your position coach. They're going to talk to your defensive coordinator. They're going to ask these questions like, hey, so what's he like? And just like anybody else, we have people that are quote unquote our employees. When they ask for a referral, we have to be honest with the people that they're applying the job. Are they trustworthy? Are they dependable? Do they show up on time? Like you have to be honest in that situation. So for Cromartie McClain, like, okay, you're going to go somewhere else. So where's that somewhere else going to be? Going to be a UAB? Going to be somewhere in the MAC? Because I mean, your talent is there, but talent can only get you so far. It's the little things like showing up on time for the bus to leave for the game.
I could see one program that makes sense, and it could have been a subliminal message in line of, play for a real program, not a program for clicks. Well, if you guys remember, that line became popular or famous or however you want to word that because of the Oregon game last year.
Yeah.
So I'll look out for Oregon. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into that. But again, maybe that was kind of sending a message to Oregon like, hey, I'll come play for you. Yeah. So maybe. But you're right. Again, right now, you can take shots like that. And that's every aspect of life too. Like,
yeah, exactly.
No matter what you want to say, and no matter what you want to say, you got to remember like what you say is a reflection of what your next employer could look at you and say, well, what are you going to say about us when you leave here?
Bingo.
That type of thing. Man, also, do you want me to tell you now or do you want me to just wait? So nonetheless, next up, what's trending again? Kinner and Kev, 1410 ESPN Radio, Chatterbox Sports. Kansas City Chiefs chairman and CEO Clark Hunt told Andy Reid he wanted to make him the NFL's highest paid coach, and now he is on a deal that runs through 2029, Kev. Again, keep in mind the Kansas City Chiefs are right now, a running dynasty in the NFL. They've won 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, looking to make it 3 straight coming up this upcoming season. They have still the best defense in the NFL and have a chance to add to that with the draft coming up this week. They have the best quarterback in the NFL. They have one of the best tight ends in the NFL. And right now, until someone comes and takes it from them, they're the defending back-to-back Super Bowl champions. And it wasn't pretty last year, but the pieces are in place to continue this ride for a little bit. You have your head coach, you have your, star quarterback, you have your defense. The Chiefs aren't going anywhere for quite some time.
Yeah, Andy Reid signed a 5-year extension. So did Chris Jones, the big defensive tackle for them, their best defensive guy. So, they're trying to run this thing back. My question for you and everybody out there listening, not only are they the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, UConn Huskies back-to-back champions in men's college basketball. Which more likely to happen? The three-peat from the Chiefs, three-peat from the Huskies?
I'll say the Chiefs only because, you have that core that won you those Super Bowls the last 2 years, continuing to run it back to where with UConn, and I'm confident that they could do it as well. Just because, there's something right now. Hurley has found the magic as far as that's concerned, but they're having to reinvent that roster every other year. So can he reinvent a third straight roster to win a national championship? Obviously, the Chiefs roster won't be the exact same, but you need the core, and they have that core, no doubt.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs out of that situation. And the big thing about UConn this past season was he was able to retain the freshmen that were role players last year, and those guys grew into starting roles along with additions of 5th and 6th-year guards that were able to play some good basketball for them. At least I haven't seen what they've been able to accomplish in the portal as of yet. But there's no doubt about what Hurley's been able to do on the transfer portal, also high school recruiting, and obviously the most important thing, the X's and O's and getting the team to gel together. But with that being said, I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes anymore.
It's the Tom Brady effect, man. Eventually, no matter what. They look so poor at times throughout this season and still won that Super Bowl. And they're just finding ways to win, and that's what championship teams do, and they'll look to do it for the third time coming up. No doubt about it. All right, moving on again. What's trending? Kinner and Kev, 1410 ESPN Radio. How about this? Wright State baseball, okay? Obviously we're Wright State. We are ESPN Radio, Dayton's radio home for Wright State basketball. But baseball, arguably the best college baseball program in the state. And right now this team has just been decimated by injuries to start the season, Kev. From right off the bat, they had star pitchers out. They had some of their best hitters out, but offense has not been a problem. In fact, they have hit 84 home runs on the season. That's a new program record. We're sitting in April. There's still a month and a half. There's still a lot of time left. They are at 84 home runs. That is a program record, and there is still a ton of games remaining. I know that Chatterbox carried a game of theirs, and I don't know. I think it was Xavier. I don't remember who they played a few weeks ago, where it was like a 23-20 game or whatever the final was. They just played Ohio State, where it was a 15-14 final. They are putting up football scores in these games right now, and they're doing it, in waves. It's pretty impressive. If only they could find a way to get the pitching to complement the hitting. This is a team that could finally look to get out of one of those regionals. But, man, the offense, scoring runs, hitting the ball to the ballpark, regardless of the ballpark, whether it's, Nischwitz or whatever, man, they're fun to watch as far as college baseball is concerned.
Yeah, it was that loss that they had to Miami of Ohio, 22-21.
Miami of Ohio, okay, yeah. 22 what?
22-21. That's crazy.
That's pretty wild. But, yeah, 84 home runs and counting the season, not close to being done. That's pretty wild. Pretty impressive, no doubt about it. All right, how about this? The Oakland transfer. So after the NCAA tournament, in the middle of the NCAA tournament, we had Jack Oakey on. Jack Oakey was the face of the NCAA tournament. He was the Cinderella darling that helped upset Kentucky, that basically just blew up the whole Kentucky basketball program, right? So we had Golke on. Golke was the story, but there was a guy named Trey Townsend who was the Horizon League Player of the Year on that Oakland roster, who just absolutely dominated Kentucky as well, and then would go on to dominate NC State. Back-to-back double-doubles in both of those performance, Kev. Was just unstoppable on the boards. Was putting up, big numbers, scoring as well. All the focus was on Jack Golke, but Townsend doing his thing. Ohio State just lost. They just lost Felix Okpara, one of the 7-footers. And Ohio State and Jake Diebler thought that they were going to have the Twin Towers down low again with Okpara and Bradshaw. Okpara is out. They're looking to replace him. Well, Townsend, again, the transfer from Oakland, the Horizon League Player of the Year, has Ohio State listed as one of his final couple of schools. In fact, he was supposed to have a visit with Michigan State, and that's where many people thought he would go to. He chose not to go on that visit. Many believe Ohio State could potentially be the favorite. Many believe that Ohio State was a finalist after taking a visit about a week and a half ago, but I think after losing Felix Okpara, I think a bag was put in front of him, if you will. they needed a big, and I think what's unique about him is he's a 4-year play. He's an experienced guy. They're not bringing in a young guy. I kind of like that possibility of them getting Trey Townsend, who put up big numbers against teams with big guys in Bradshaw in Kentucky, and then obviously NC State with another big guy that was a face of the tournament as well. So I like Townsend to Ohio State if they can get that done.
Absolutely. I mean, another team involved with his portal recruitment was Arizona. And like Arizona, I mean, it's Arizona. Like for obvious reasons, it's Arizona. They got a good program. Depending on what Caleb Love does, and in an NBA situation, if he comes back, they got a solid point guard. But like, let's not take away the fact that Trey Townsend is from the Midwest, and the ability for his parents to come see him play is a lot easier at Ohio State than it is at Arizona. So he probably got to hold on to that, and hopefully, whatever money Arizona offered him, hopefully Ohio State offered him just as much.
The Cincinnati Bengals re-signing Jake Browning to a 2-year deal. They could have easily, they could have signed, they could have signed him to a 1-year league minimum deal due to him not being an unrestricted free agent. But this puts a little bit more money in his pocket. So got to give a shout out to the Bengals for doing that, handling that correctly, because some people weren't a fan of how they handled it immediately after the season, because they could have traded him. He could have gone to a spot. I mean, he played well enough to go contend, fight for a starting position elsewhere. You're not beating out Joe Burrow for that starting quarterback position, but it's tough to find good backups in this league. And he had him in position. They were in the playoff hunt. That's all you can ask for. It's all you can ask for out of a backup. I know as a Browns fan, it took 4 of them to get the job, 5 of them to get the job done last year. He almost had him in the mix. So I like that. I like that the Bengals did right by him, and they signed him to that 2-year contract extension through 2025.
Absolutely. This is a great move for the Cincinnati Bengals. One of the best moves they made this offseason outside of signing Geno Stone. But, we talked about backup quarterbacks. Look, we talk about the good with everything that happened with the Cleveland Browns and their backup quarterback situation. Mm-hmm. Ask the Minnesota Vikings about their backup quarterback situation after Kirk Cousins went down. Yeah, everything was great when Dobbs took over for about 2 games, and then it hit the rails. Everything just fell off the rails. So when you have a quality backup quarterback, you want to take care of him. You want to keep him on the team. And I mean, let's be real, man. We could talk about Joe Burrow being great and Joe Cool and everything that you want to say, Joe Burr, or people can say he's injury prone. I won't go there, but what I will say is something always happens. It's not his fault that his appendix busts. Absolutely not. It's not his fault that his knee got rolled up on. It's not his fault. It's not his fault that his thumb got busted or pinky got busted.
Pinky.
It wasn't his fault. But the fact of the matter is he got hurt. Yeah. That's the fact. The fact is he got hurt, and you guys had a quality backup to come in there and help you guys be in contention to go back to the playoffs. I mean, you look back at that Minnesota Vikings game. I know T. Higgins definitely deserves a ton of credit, probably all the credit in the world for that comeback victory with some of those crazy acrobatic catches he was making. But, it takes a guy with some to make those kind of throws that he was out there making. Normal backups don't make those type of throws. And, you got a good backup. So hang on to him.
Elvis has, it was kind of news when Elvis left the building. Elvis has left the building. That shocked some Flyer fans. Obviously, Kobe Brea leaving the Dayton Flyers program as well. We found out who the 5 schools that Brea had narrowed his, decision down to on yesterday's show. We'll talk about that quickly when we come back. But Elvis left the building, and we now know which building he is entering. Kobe Elvis, again, made a decision earlier today, the former Flyer, heading to the Big 12. So we'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. We'll step away for a few moments. More of the Kinner and Kev Show right here on 1410 ESPN Radio and Chatterbox Sports on YouTube when we come back.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Today, plentiful sunshine, high around 65. Tonight, going to be partly cloudy through the evening, then becoming cloudy after midnight, a low of 48 degrees. Tomorrow, for your Tuesday, cloudy with occasional rain in the afternoon and a high around 65. I'm Adam Zellick for 1410 ESPN Radio.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
By now, you should know Audio Etc. has all the same sales and deals on TVs and projectors as everyone else. But did you know we also have some of the world's best hi-fi? Hi, this is Kirby from Audio Etc. And we do have some of the best home theater high-fidelity gear on the planet. Not only do we have your favorite brands like Clip speakers and SVS subwoofers, but audiophile greats from Bowers & Wilkins, Kef, NAD, Marantz, Cambridge, Mark Levinson, and plenty of vinyl and tube gear. Plus exotics you only see in the magazines. Stop by today and visit Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom and see and audition the best audio and video has to offer. While you're in, check out our huge selection of pre-owned vintage gear. A great way to afford great gear otherwise out of reach, or revisit old classics. Audio Etc. Sound advice you can trust. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon in Centerville, or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
But I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it. And at the same time, I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
It's Kubota Orange Days. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And now, through June 30th, get 0% APR for 84 months and up to $2,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see a full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check us out online at ColumbusEquipment.com.
Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken has the best fast food fried chicken. Sure, it sounds like an opinion, till you hear that USA Today readers said the same thing. Get a taste of it with the Famous Favorites Variety Box, available at a great low price. With 5 hand-breaded strips and 5 pieces of crispy golden bone-in chicken, it's perfect for feeding your whole crew. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Save big money on your next project. Right now at Menards. Attract a wide variety of birds to your yard with KT Birders Blend Wild Birdseed. This mix is highly nutritious and contains a superior blend of specialty seeds, grains, and nuts. Hurry in to pick up KT Birdseed today and head to Menards.com to see all of our great deals going on now in our weekly flyer.
Save big money at Menards.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring today. Robert Half is here to help. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Reds fans, you can catch Tom and Marty Brenneman every Wednesday on Off the Bench with Trace Fowler right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. You can also stream 1410 ESPN Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Can I make Shaw mad? Did Shaw disappear?
Shawski.
The last time, I mean, I pissed him off on the phone a few weeks ago when he called in. Haven't heard from him since. Not even liking on the page, not even commenting. He's a little upset with me.
Probably what you said about J.J. McCarthy.
Well, he can get over it. I mean, he's going to be really mad when we're all right when the NCAA comes through the second time with everything. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports. That could be the other reason too. Him and Jason don't get along. So there's that.
Put him up.
But Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports. He's a regular during the football season. Comes on with us every week talking college football, NFL. Well, he's going to come on with us, make a little rare appearance here today, and we'll talk all things NFL draft. We'll talk about the Bengals, talk about the Browns, the AFC North. We'll touch on it all with Jason coming up here in just over a half hour. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash. We welcome you. We're live on 1410 Wing AM. We're live on Chatterbox Sports on YouTube. What up, Nate, on YouTube? He says hello. I got it. Yeah, I have to do a better job of following the YouTube chat. So I'm working on that still, but I appreciate it. Well, let's see. Michael Carnage, he says that everyone watching Kinner and Kev, they're the hardest workers at their company, obviously. Because, look, we've always said that too. Especially like, when we get into the football season, when the phone calls really ramp up and everything, it's like, well, man, these people just taking smoke breaks. There's like people like pick up smoking during the fall. Like we get a lot of, it's pretty wild. But nonetheless, we appreciate those who are taking time during their work day to tune in and interact with us as far as that's concerned. So there you go. But nonetheless, appreciate you, Nate and Michael. Who's this? A realtor named House. He says the F, is that a Steelers hat? Yeah,
it is.
It's a Steelers hat.
It is. That is my favorite NFL football.
Just get that hat out of here. Hey, I'm a Browns fan. Leave him alone.
I'm sorry. Not sorry, but it is what it is.
We
all have our favorite teams, man. It's all good, man. It's all good. So, don't worry about it.
One thing you and I were talking about during the break is wild, and I've brought this up before because I've always thought this is wild. I've always been I don't know why I've not been as critical of the Reds as of late. I feel like this is the type of team I should be a little bit more critical of, that this is a team that actually has expectations. This team is expected to win. This team is expected to win the division. This team is expected to do things. David Bell is expected to put this team in position to be successful. And I'm not saying that they are not successful right now, but there are some major glaring deficiencies that some are in his control and some aren't. We poked fun at it yesterday. I've never seen a team that has had more absences from a lineup due to undisclosed illnesses than the Cincinnati Reds. I don't get that. I know people want to make a big deal, including I used to be that guy that I got tired of the different lineups every single day. I grew up watching baseball a certain way where if you're the leadoff hitter, you're the leadoff hitter. If you're the hitting in the 3 spot, you're the 3, spot, the cleanup hitter, yada, yada. And that's just not how baseball operates anymore. And maybe I've accepted it. Maybe I don't know why I've gone soft on the Cincinnati Reds, but the one thing that has always fascinated me, and we just saw it a little bit with the guy in the chat on YouTube. I mean, just not being very not accepting another sports, fan here, right? Like not liking Browns fans, not liking Steelers fans. What's wild is if you say anything remotely critical of the Cincinnati Bengals, and half the time I'm right, just so you guys know, I just want that to be clear. Half the time I'm wrong, but half the time I'm right. And it doesn't matter. Joe Burrow can go 1 of 16. And I would point that out and say that's a problem. And Bengals fans would say, yeah, but that one pass was nice, though. It was a tight little window that he forced in up on the sideline. Man, not a lot of quarterbacks can make that throw. But the Cincinnati Reds, I can crap on them all day. And they pile you tag into the match. It's like a handicap match. I mean, we're just tagging everyone in just to beat up on the team. And I don't get it because a lot of Reds fans are Bengals fans are Reds fans. And there's just something about the Cincinnati Reds that just pisses everybody off. And I'm not really sure what it is. Because as I've said before, the Bengals have flaws, but not in the eyes of their fans. The Reds have a lot of great things about them, but the fans don't care about any of the good things. I mean, last night, we desperately needed a big-time outing from Hunter Green. Was it ace-level stuff? No, but he gave him, 6-7 innings last night? That was big time, especially with the high usage rate of the bullpen as of late. Desperately needed a big, type of outing like that from a Hunter Green. They get that. And people still blowing him up because he gave up the 4 runs. How about the fact that they got shut out? Like that's the problem there. So, but everyone just piling on the Cincinnati Reds. And it's just amazing how in the same sports city in Cincinnati, one team could do a lot of wrong and still do no wrong. One team could still do a lot of right, even understanding that, hey, this is a young team. There's going to be inconsistencies. I just feel like the patience level for the Reds is non-existent. But Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals can come up short time and time again, and they could do no wrong. It is a very wild gap in Cincinnati sports fandom on how they handle both of these teams. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed that as well, especially at least with our listeners that tune into the show. My question is why? Like, what is it? Because Cincinnati is more of a baseball town. That's why the passion is there more. I'm not sure. Maybe our listeners can help us answer those questions.
Yeah, and again, in the chat, again, on Chatterbox especially, jumping on that. I am kind of curious people's thoughts on that. By the way, a realtor named House, he goes, you can keep the hat if
Free
you
promo.
Yeah, he goes, you can the super chat. He goes, you can keep that hat if you join my socials and tell them and tell the radio audience to do the same. So
likewise.
So
follow me at 1Kev Nash and I'll follow you back.
That seems fair. That seems fair.
A follow for a follow.
But 518-1410, 518-1410. I think is this Bob? Bob in Riverside? Is this you?
Yes. I'm alive, man. I'm alive. Hey, this is a very easy question to answer, man.
Go for it.
Why do people get upset with the Reds? The Reds have been rebuilding for 25 years. Nobody wants to hear that no more. You know, every year it's the same thing. You know, I give you credit, Kinner, from the fact that you continue, to swing that Reds flag. Oh, this is going to be the year. Oh, they got enough people. They got this. They got that. It's the same thing. The Bengals at least have been winning. I think it's pretty easy. When are the Reds going to win? The Reds ain't won nothing since what? Dusty Baker? That was like, 25 years ago?
I mean, yeah, you're a little off, but yes, I see your point. But let's be clear, and I'm not trying to get into a Bengals war with you, but when you say the Bengals have been winning, and what have the Reds done? The Cincinnati Bengals, I mean, they've on a 3-year stretch, and look, their stretch isn't ending by any means. The Bengals are in the midst of a very good run right now. But this is a very interesting year for the Bengals, though, because this is kind of one of those years where unless they're in the AFC Championship game or unless they're in the Super Bowl, anything short of that is going to be considered a failure when you keep propping up Joe Burrow as a Patrick Mahomes level quarterback. If he's not doing that, then he's not on that same level. So it's going to be an interesting year as far as that's concerned. But as far as the Reds go, the Reds and Bengals, it's not as if they're, they started from a race from the same block. Like the Bengals have a couple years start on this. The Reds last year way ahead of schedule. Everyone has said that this rebuild just feels different with the Reds, that they're hitting on all their prospects. And the main thing to keep in mind too is that this is a roster pretty much made up, Bob, of nothing but second and third year players. It's a relatively young roster. This is why a month ago I kept saying, can we hold up a little bit on the over pushing of this team? I feel like we're going to experience a lot of ups and downs, and that's basically been the name of the game 2.5-3 weeks into the season.
But Justin, how long are you going to keep saying that? This is a young roster. You've been saying that for like 10 years.
But I haven't. Reds fans hated me up until about 2 years ago. I've been very critical of the Reds during that stretch, but this rebuild is different. This rebuild has stars. The previous rebuilds, they fell flat.
I give you credit for that. Because I will say, you are pretty much right across the board. Even when you're talking about the Bengals, personally, I think you're right. You do a little hyperbole. We get that, but you're pretty much across the board. You call it what it is. But again, that's the frustration with the Reds. It's hard for me to even back the Reds because of the fact that, again, it's the same thing. David, you give him an extra cut. What has he done? I mean, seriously, who else would still be in this position if it wasn't for the fact that it's a small team, a small town? That's the only reason that guy's still here. Why is he even still here getting an extension? Because they look good for like about 5 minutes. And then, then it's the same thing. You're going to be telling me the same thing next year when they don't make the playoffs this year. So to me, that's the difference. You might say, well, the Bengals are only in a 3-year, run of making. Well, okay, 3 years. Well, let the Reds do that. How about we get 1 or 2 years? How about we do that? And then you wouldn't hear the criticism of the Reds. It would be a little bit more patient.
Dusty Baker Dusty Baker takes issue with what you just said. I mean, that's a guy that I'm just saying. I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying Dusty Baker's on line too. He disagrees with that, but I know what you're trying to say.
So I like to look at stuff like in 10-year segments. So for over the last 10 years, the Cincinnati Bengals have made the playoffs 4 times. Wild card loss, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight years, no playoff. Go to the Super Bowl, unfortunately lose to the Rams, and then lost in the conference finals the previous year. And this year they didn't make the playoffs. So then over the last 10 years for the Cincinnati Reds, they've made the playoffs twice. It's a long time, man. It's a long time. And there's since the recent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 year gap between playoff appearances from 2020 year. And some people, quote unquote, don't count that. I do, because it is what it is. And now they're currently trying to make their way back to the playoffs since that 2020 season. I think it's just as simple as this, man. People look at the quick turnaround in football where, hey, man, we know we are one quarterback away. We're one playmaker away. In baseball, you're not one pitcher away.
You need 3 more Ellies. Like,
you need so much for a baseball team to turn it around. It's a true team sport. Whereas in football, if you get like 2 guys, they can carry you all the way to the playoffs at least. I mean, shoot, the Steelers were carried to the playoffs on the back of TJ Watt. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you get those guys in the NFL, you think you have a chance. At least get to the tournament.
And not bad for being the second best defensive player in the NFL. So, just
we all know that's cap. We all know that's cap.
There we go. But that's what I to me personally, that's what it is. Let the Reds do something. Again, you got the same manager. It's the same old thing. We'll be talking this time next year, mark it down, 2025, whatever this is, April 23rd, we'll be talking about the same thing. Where's the Reds? Well, you know what? They're still young. They're coming. People tired of hearing that, man. People tired of hearing. Do something. Do something with that. That's all I'm saying. And with the Bengals, again, if everybody's healthy, they need to make a run. Absolutely. But at least, you got some kind of hope. With the Reds, they don't give you no hope. I know.
So hold on. So if the Bengals stay healthy, you're putting the excuse in there if the Bengals aren't. But what's wrong with the Reds right now? Just saying, the Reds a little banged up.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter. The Reds, and they're always hurt. Are they not? The Reds with their pitching staff. I've never seen a pitching staff that comes to spring training. They all hurt. It's the same thing. It's like Groundhog Day with the Reds, man. That's what's up with them, man. And I'm right. I'm right, Justin, Kev. You guys know I'm right about that, man.
Bob, I'll give you that. You gave me a couple flowers today. I'll return them. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yep. Take care.
Bro. All right. Bye.
The David Bell stuff, man. Like I told you a while back, because for some of our newer listeners right now, like me and David Bell did not have the best of relationships a few years ago.
BFFs now.
Now we're good. I'm a hypocrite sports talk show host because, once we're good, now I feel like I can't be as critical. I'm a horrible sports talk show host because of that. Big time hypocrite. It's okay. I'll figure it out eventually. He's going to irritate me at some point, and then I'm going to flip the switch again, because I said, this is like put up or shut up for David Bell. There's really no more excuses. And by the way, I do got to give him credit for last year. I don't think David Bell gets enough credit for last year. This was a team that was supposed to lose 100 games last year. This was a team that, you look at that opening day roster compared to what it ended up being, and you could say, well, yes, they ended up, the expectations changed because they became a different team because of those additions. But we forgot about the fact, I've said this before, the worst thing that ever happened to the Cincinnati Reds was the month of June 2023. The month of June 2023 totally altered the expectations and totally made fans forget about who this team really is. This team is a super young rebuilding roster that had a hot month of June that totally changed the perception of the team. And now we keep trying to hold that team to what they were in June. And I don't know if they've ever come close to looking like that team in June from last year. So that's the problem, and that's the concern. But I got to give David Bell credit, because that's a team that was made up of nothing but rookies and second and third year players, and they missed the playoffs by 2 games. Again, they missed the playoffs. And that's all that matters. But they missed the playoffs by 2 games in the season that they were supposed to lose 100, not even talking about the playoffs. It was supposed to be like the year before, where we as hosts, we're going to have to figure out what the hell to talk about for 4 months, because the Reds were supposed to be done at the end of April. Well, they're nowhere close to being done at the end of the month of April, but they're playing hard to get with the fans right now. They're flirting with you. They're showing a little leg, and then they say you're freaking them out when you stare at them too long. Like that's the thing. That's what they're doing with you. And I understand the frustration as far as that's concerned. Casey brings up, it's Casey. Casey, what's up, man? He goes, where did that go? Because I saw one of the points he made. But Kev and Kinner, the Reds haven't won as far as that's concerned. But like they're not at the point where the Bengals are, though. They don't have a roster that's ready to fully contend. This roster is this season. So, Casey, I know what you're saying. And my expectation is for this team is to win. But I'm not going to say that this team is bad based on where we're at on April 23rd or whatever day of the month it is right now. It's April 23rd. But I do know, we get through May and start heading into June, then I'll be a little concerned if this is that up and down stretch. But I think the next 30 games are against teams that are in first place or second place in their division. I mean, like this is a tough stretch coming up. This is a put up or shut up year for David Bell. There's no excuses. My hot take last year was that Aaron Boone would be the manager of the Reds this season, a year ago at this time, because I thought that the Reds are going to lose 100 games, that there's no way David Bell can survive losing 100 games. Aaron Boone's run with the Yankees was going a little dicey. Obviously, he's righted that ship a little bit, but nonetheless, we could potentially see a new manager with the Reds a year from now if they don't get this figured out. But again, maybe slight overreaction after getting shut out yesterday, coming off of a sweep over the weekend of the Angels, but they got to get back in their winning ways coming up here later on tonight, game 2 against the Phillies, nonetheless. But Casey, appreciate everyone chiming in there. I got to comb through this. Casey, I give you and Trace and all them a lot of credit. Like, for one, I'm 34 and I'm like an old 34. I can't even see, like, it's like small print, Kev. Like, I can't, we're on camera. I can't do the thing with my glasses and squint. I mean, can I look any more 80 as far as that's concerned? But I'll get back to that coming up here in a moment. But we appreciate the interaction. Bob, appreciate the call. Jason Fitz coming up here in just a little bit. We'll get his thoughts. We'll talk more NFL draft around the corner. Yesterday, we had a chance to take a look back at the draft, the 2021 NFL draft, and that ended up not being as sexy of a draft as what we thought it was. A lot of QBs, a lot of talent that we expected to make a big impact on the league in 2021 that did not. But let's go back a year before that. It's a draft that all of you are very familiar with, Bengals fans, the 2020 NFL draft. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, Brendan Ayuk, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb. I mean, it just keeps on going. We're going to comb through that draft and talk about the impact of that. Is that the best draft, at least in the last 10 years? I mean, that has to be one of the best drafts ever, just with the way it's trending, with the way some of these star quarterbacks and athletes are really performing thus far. It's the Kinner Kev Show, 1410 ESPN Radio, Chatterbox Sports on YouTube. We'll be right back.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Hey, let me tell you about the advantages of driving with my friends at Cordell Transportation. First of all, for the new year, they're offering brand new equipment to drive. They purchased new equipment, and not a lot of people could say that, but they've got it, and they're ready to roll with you. Cordell Transportation is offering an incredible $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months. If you're an experienced Class A CDL driver looking for excellent benefits, home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freights, then apply today online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Frickers doubles your savings when you use the Frickers app. Frickers doubles your points on everyday value menu item. Monday, boneless frickin' chicken wings. Double points on the Frickers app. Tuesday, traditional frickin' chicken wings. Double points. Wednesday, sirloin steak. Double points. Thursday, frickin' chicken chunks. Double points on the Frickers app. When you download the Frickers app, you can even earn points by choosing delivery. Frickers mobile app now offers delivery. Everyday values, double points, and delivery, all by downloading the Frickers app. Your best value is always Frickers.
Delivery participation and hours may vary by location.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America NA.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advanced can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $35.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
People you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plan starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Hey, let me tell you about the advantages of driving with my friends at Cordell Transportation. First of all, for the new year, they're offering brand new equipment to drive. They purchased new equipment, and not a lot of people could say that, but they've got it, and they're ready to roll with you. Cordell Transportation is offering an incredible $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months. If you're an experienced Class A CDL driver looking for excellent benefits, home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freights, then apply today online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Get a taste of KFC's $10 Tuesday. Pick up an 8-piece drum and thigh bucket for just $10. Only at KFC. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
1410 ESPN Radio gives you 5 straight hours of local sports talk every weekday. Don't miss Off the Bench with Trace Fowler at 1 p.m., followed by the Kinner and Kev Show from 3 to 6 p.m. The best local sports talk in the Miami Valley, right here on 1410 ESPN Radio and on the iHeartRadio app.
And we are back. It's the Kinner and Kev Show, 1410 ESPN Radio, Chatterbox Sports. 518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to call, and you can jump in on the conversation, of course. So, again, just being the horrible sports talk radio host that I am, Kev, I teased something earlier, never picked up with it when we came back. So maybe I do teases different. I tease something for way later in the show, apparently. It is what it is. But we talked, yesterday on yesterday's show about Kobe Bryant. Basically, I mean, it was a blue blood list. Kobe Bryant, of course, who entered the portal, Dayton Flyer, former Dayton Flyer, of course, one of the best 3-point shooters in the country, narrowed his list down to Kansas, Kentucky, Duke. Who am I missing? There was UConn in there, yeah. And I'm missing someone in there. There's Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky, and UConn. So there's the 5. So pretty interesting, but that's an impressive list. That is, I mean, that's a very impressive list. I mean, we've seen some of the best players in the country enter the portal, and you see the list that they narrow it down to. There's always a school or two that's a random, that we think is random. Maybe there's like a connection there like with the family or coaches or whatever. But that's a pretty cool list for Kobe Bryant. Kobe Elvis, he had gone on a couple visits, but he, was not wasting any time. He is committed to finish out his playing career at Oklahoma, Kev.
Boomer Sooner.
So, yes, nonetheless. But the Sooners men's basketball program lands a commitment from transfer guard Kobe Elvis, a long-awaited addition. Elvis brings plenty of experience to OU's backcourt. Again, a lot of media over there in Oklahoma excited about the addition. They have listed, of course, as point guard heading over to, obviously Oklahoma. So interesting as far as that's concerned. But had a chance to comb through the chat just a little bit. Casey, one of the points that he brought up, Kev, NFL teams don't have to worry about making money on a year-to-year basis due to the CBA. And I know what you're saying there, Casey, but the thing is, one thing that I think also ruined baseball, as much as it's helped baseball and it helps teams and it also hurts, it's getting those TV deals up front. Like back then when you had to put a good product on the field to that increase the chances of filling up your ballpark, and that's how you made money on your, apparel, and that's how you made money with the concessions and all that. The second that the TV deals happen and you got a share of that, you got that money up front, I mean, you should still be motivated to put a good product on the field to still get the attendance figures on top of it, but they got complacent.
Mm-hmm.
When the Reds know, this is one reason why, I remember at the beginning of the season when we were meeting with the Reds front office staff and they were giving us an update on what they were going to do about Bally Sports, that they were choosing to stick with Bally Sports, not knowing what the future of Bally Sports was going to be. It was a gamble. And the reason that they gambled is because there was an opportunity to have more money coming in from Bally Sports, which they needed, to where if they would have just said, hey, you know what? It's going to be better for our fans if we just go to MLB and let them carry and stream all of our games, but they would have lost money on that. They need that money up front. That's how they salvage. That's how they do everything that they do. You don't have to like how the Reds do it, but that is the explanation for how they do it. So yes, NFL teams, but it's the same thing. They're getting a lot of that network deal too, and the CBA as far and all that's concerned. So nonetheless, but yeah, it's a business at the end of the day.
A bird in the hand, basically.
All we care about is the fan side of it. The business side can get a little dicey as far as that's concerned.
I just think that, we as fans and us as talk show hosts, we look at these numbers and the decline in ratings in NBA and the decline in MLB people watching and the increase in NFL. I think the common denominator here is, the NFL is just king. And I know this just speaking for myself, like the older I get, the less time I have for all the other stuff. Like, I just don't have time to watch all these games. So I'll watch a game here, I'll watch a game there. And I feel like I watch a ton of sports. But like, as a kid and as a young adult, somebody in their early 20s, like, all right, man, you're going out with the boys, you're going to go to the bar and watch this game, or you're going to have a boys' night out and you're going to watch a whole bunch of games, play some poker, eat some pizza. You're not, quote unquote, allowed to do that once you get married and have a wife and kids. Like it's Wednesday. There is no poker night. There is, hey, change the diapers. Hey, we're going to karate practice. We're going to soccer practice. Oh yeah, I need you to go do the laundry because I got to take the kids here and there. Like I think it's just as simple as that. Like with the NBA, MLB, these games are on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. For the most part, the NFL is on Sundays. And if you are a responsible adult, you probably handled all your business Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and probably on Saturday too. And like, all right, I'm getting me one day. I'm getting my Saturday. And let's be real, man. Women love football too. My mom hates NBA. My mom hates basketball. Mom has always hated basketball, but she's always loved football. She hates baseball, but she's always loved football. I just think, hey, man, the NFL is king and it's going to continue to be king. And we're seeing this right now with the NBA. They're going through negotiations with the ESPN and TNT. Amazon stepping up to the plate. HBO Max is stepping up to the plate. Amazon Prime is stepping up to the plate. We can talk about like, oh, man, the viewership is down. But these streaming companies want to get in bed with the NBA because they know that, hey, man, live sports is still going to be way more important and bring way more eyeballs to the TV set than some random game show hosted by Kev Nash.
Well, no, it's funny, we're going to talk NBA playoffs here in a bit, but while we're there, 2 amazing games last night, 2 fantastic games last night. And if you want to know the NBA's biggest problem, it was last night, not the Cavs game. I'll set you up for that in a minute. But Kev, as a NBA fan, watching last night's games pissed me off because
how are you always glass half empty, man? How is that possible?
It proved, these guys do like playing basketball. They do like playing hard from time to time. It's kind of cute watching them,
that is a myth. But that is a myth.
But Kev, like the way they approach playoff games is completely different. Like the way, that's what the whole, resting players and all that stuff was built for, because they didn't care about the regular season and all that. Now the Bucks put out a weird tweet the other day that I know it's not what they meant, but they got roasted for it. 82 games of the regular season. That doesn't matter. All that matters is the playoffs. Everyone's like, oh, you have an actual account of an NBA team saying the regular season doesn't matter. Even I wasn't stretching it like that, but you see how sensitive people are to that stuff.
But see, I'm on the total opposite side of that. That is a horrible tweet. And especially considering all the things that your team has been through this season with the Bucks.
You might need more of that regular season.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute. Like, hold on. You're on your second head coach. Your superstar player has a calf injury. No, and it's merely one game. It's one game. You haven't beat the opponent yet. Like that whoever runs the Twitter for the Bucks is a moron.
Yeah, like, some intern, Dude. Social media used to just be like a thing you hand off to interns, but it is pretty damn important now. Like, you've got to be very careful.
That is a horrible tweet. Is it still up?
I have no idea. Was it from yesterday? It had to be either yesterday or for the day before. They didn't play yesterday, so it had to have been from the day before.
From Sunday, yeah.
So they play tonight, obviously.
Yeah, let me see.
But see, I understood the message, but the point is that people jumped on that because that's the perception. And it's a perception that I buy into more than you, it sounds like, about, but you go to the regular season, you have stars sitting out constantly, but you don't have stars sitting out of playoff games. That right there is telling me that when the stars are telling you that these games don't matter, it don't matter, as far as I'm concerned. But last night, you said half empty. No, it was 80% full for me. Two amazing games last night. And I was telling you earlier, I didn't watch the Knicks and the Sixers game initially. I went to go, I was, working out, doing some stuff with the wife. And then all of a sudden I checked Twitter and I'm trying to get an update in the Reds game. I'm trying to do this. And I'm like, I can't find anything on Twitter or X or whatever. And I can't find anything on Twitter or X or anything because it's just, I probably went through 20 straight tweets of everyone talking about the wild finish to this Knicks Sixers game. And so that got me to stop what I'm doing to rush to the TV to find it. So kudos to Twitter for the win there, but fantastic finish there. I know I'm throwing you NBA and then I got to pull it away quick because we got to get to Jason Fitz coming up. So close.
I'll ask him about NBA.
So close. So close. But we'll get back to some NFL draft talk coming up on the other side. Yes, some NBA talk too. Wild NBA playoff action last night. The Knicks and the Sixers. Wild finish there. The Lakers, they were so close. I love the Lakers. I love LeBron, but they don't have a shot. I told that to Kev. What, they're like 9 straight. They don't have a shot. They're going to 10th straight. I mean, my gosh, hang a banner for all. I mean, this is going to be the most competitive back-to-back sweeps in NBA history.
They're not getting swept. They're not getting swept.
Let's put some money on that.
I'll put.
But tell
Are you going to pay up this time?
I'll pay.
Oh, yeah, we got a whole new listening audience.
It's a whole new listening audience. It's a whole new era. And no. All right. Jason Fitz joins us next.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-337-4168. 800-337-4168.
What's the room again?
1240, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Your vehicle service needs matter to us. That's what we do. That's why Chevrolet of Troy offers the most convenient service experience in the area and the most competitive pricing. Plus, we're open Saturdays. Experience, satisfaction, and integrity. That's who we are. Chevrolet of Troy is the only dealership in Miami County with an on-site body shop. Our professionals will diagnose your vehicle quickly to get you back on the road. Now that's convenient. Chevrolet of Troy, 1375 South Market Street, and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Dayton sports fans, don't forget to follow and subscribe to ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. Listen, watch, interact. Search ESPN Dayton on YouTube.
And we are back. It's the Kinner and Kev Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. And, of course, on Chatterbox Sports on YouTube. We appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with us here on a Tuesday. We are just a few days away from, of course, the NFL Draft. You know what? We're also a couple days away from. We're about, what? Today's Tuesday, so there's Wednesday, Thursday. Here in about 2 days, 3 days, the WWE Draft. It's a big deal, dude. Big deal.
They have a draft for that?
They have a draft for that. And it starts in Cincinnati, WWE Friday Night SmackDown. And we have tickets we're giving away.
Tickets.
And to get a pair of those tickets, all you have to do, well, not to get a pair, but to have a chance to get a pair, you have to text WWE to 937-518-1410. All right, 937-518-1410. Text WWE for your chance to win a pair of SmackDown tickets. Yes, it's the WWE Draft. CM Punk's going to be in attendance.
Who are you calling Punk?
Do you know who CM Punk is?
I've heard the name.
How you picked your radio name to be Kev Nash? This is my biggest.
It's not picked because of that. It's not picked because of that. My brother picked it for me.
Is he a wrestling fan?
He used to be. Road Warriors era. the Attitude Era, you know.
Well, I think our next guest, friend of the show, I think he's a wrestling fan. We got Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports. Jason, it's been a while. Welcome. You're a wrestling fan, right?
Well, I mean, yes, but like in that way that like I grew up around it in the 80s. I'm not still like out there all the time with it, but yeah, I think WWE does a great job. And by the way, they do a great job putting on. We used to go to those wrestling events when I was with the Bay Perry. Like we would go sometimes just to see what they do for their interactive things because they're so good live that you can steal some of those ideas on merch and how they, their app and the way they work things live. Like they put on a show, boys. Like they do put on a show. But yeah, no, I'm more the era of, Macho Man and Hulk Hogan being, caricatures. That's my time. Those are my people.
Ultimate Warrior fan over here.
Well, the most important thing is on SmackDown with the first pick. No, I'm joking. We're talking NFL draft. That's why we interrupted your time. What you said you just landed in Los Angeles. You're over on the West Coast giving us some time. What do you do in Los Angeles?
So Yahoo is doing a bunch of draft work that I'm actually really excited about, guys. So we're going to be doing some draft live streams, which, everybody does those. I get it. But we're going to do something cool in our live streams that nobody else does because we're going to have some of the Yahoo fantasy football guys right there on the couch with us to break down the fantasy aspect of it. And also some of our rivals guys that studied these guys all the way back to high school to sort of give you an idea where they came from to get to where they are. But this is really cool. In the Yahoo app on Thursday, if you're an iPhone user, there's going to be a new technology that we're debuting where you can go in as picks happen in the Yahoo app and you can react to every pick with an emoji. And so then you can see how other fans are reacting to it, how people that have identified that as their favorite team are reacting to it, and then how those of us that are covering the draft for Yahoo are reacting to it also. So you get instant, immediate emoji feedback. So really excited. It's a big initiative for Yahoo. So we're going to be doing a bunch over the next few days.
Now, and, going back to when you were coming on with us during the football season, there was so much, talk about the top prospects entering this upcoming NFL draft. Caleb Williams, obviously Jaden Daniels and Drake May, and obviously Michigan's quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, has shot up a lot of these boards. You have Michael Penix Jr. It's all about the quarterbacks, as we know, Jason. And I guess the question I have for you is, what's the likelihood? How many quarterbacks do you anticipate going in the first round? And is there a quarterback that you think is kind of not getting the love that they should be getting? Kind of that guy kind of hiding in the weeds a little bit.
Yeah, well, look, I think, it's hard to say that he's not getting the love, but Drake May deserves a lot more love. There's no reason for the downgrade of Drake May in a lot of these conversations. And if you really think about it, I think it's been a pretty intentional move by some teams to try and get him to fall down the board a little bit. But guys, I genuinely believe, having talked to everybody around the league and getting ready to cover this for my 7th year at this point, I believe that quarterbacks are going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Arizona is going to trade out. So quarterbacks are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, which then means desperation is going to play into it. So you're asking how many go in the first round. I think it's probably 5, maybe 6. Maybe we get all 6. But once the top 4 are off the board, Minnesota, the Broncos, even the Raiders could be desperate going into the bottom of the first round, trying to get their hands on Bo Nix or trying to get their hands on Michael Penix Jr.
Wow, up to 6 quarterbacks in the first round. Obviously, Caleb Williams, Daniels, Drake May, JJ. So you think that Penix Jr. and Bo Nix are going to go in the first round?
I think one of the two of them will go at the bottom of the first round. I'd be stunned if one of them doesn't go there. So that gets me to 5 pretty easy. But think about this. If in my mind, look, Jaden was always going to be the number 2 pick. So if Jaden's the number 2 pick over the course of the last month, so then you get to the number 3 pick where people keep trying to tell us that the Patriots want to move down, but you can't compete against Josh Allen without a quarterback. So I don't think the Patriots are going anywhere. So if the Patriots then go Drake May, now if you're the Giants, you're going to try and move up and take JJ, which makes a lot of sense, right? The minute that happens, or the Vikings will try and move up, I'm sure. But the minute that happens, are the Vikings comfortable, as Charles Robinson reported in his article for Yahoo yesterday, the Vikings might be comfortable sitting at 11-23 and seeing if they can pick up Bo Nix there. Well, if that happens, and you're anybody else that needs a quarterback. So, again, I'll mention my beloved Raiders, the Broncos. I don't care about the Zach Wilson trade. They still don't have a quarterback. I think even the Seahawks might quietly be in the quarterback market. Any of those teams, you're looking around saying, man, can we really wait until the second round? And I don't know that people, should they? Yes. If I was a GM, there are 3 quarterbacks that I think deserve to go in the first round, and all the rest of them are second rounders, including J.J. McCarthy, to me, is the second rounder. So, I think there are three guys that deserve to go in the first. But man, we know it's a quarterback-obsessed society, and the way that they've changed the salary cap, like think about it. You draft a quarterback, you get it wrong, who cares? You can just bag on him in 3 years. So, like, just keep going back to the well over and over and over again. If Bryce Young were cut today, his dead cap hit to Carolina would be $31 million. That's nothing in the modern NFL. So they changed the system in a way where teams would rather reach a quarterback and just keep dipping back in the well every year.
Yeah, it kind of first started with Josh Rosen with the Cardinals, and then last year we see it with Kenny Pickett. They moved on from him, so they're definitely making it easier to move on from players, especially first-round picks. Speaking of J.J. McCarthy, Kinner and I talk about him a ton here. We just don't think that he's shown enough from the film that we see from the game. How is he flown up the draft board so rapidly?
So here's what people love about him. And I agree with you, by the way. When I say he's a second rounder, it's not because I don't think J.J. McCarthy's very good. I do think J.J. McCarthy's very good, but we really have no idea. And I flat out asked Harbaugh at the national championship game, if you believe that you've got the best quarterback since Andrew Luck and you've got the best college quarterback, you've got the Tom Brady of college quarterbacks, why do you not let him let loose more in the offense a little bit? And, not surprisingly, Harbaugh sort of skirted the question. He's great at that. But realistically, you want to talk about JJ, like there is really good on film. There's also really bad. Nate Tice has a great breakdown showing all of the just terrible throws to the left side of the field. The guy can't throw left. Like, what are we talking about? And then the conversation as well, think about it. It was the game plan for Michigan. They won all those games, and it's okay that they didn't throw the ball. Okay, well, but if you had the current Andrew Luck, you think you're handing the ball off 30, 40 times in a game? You ain't doing that. Like, it doesn't make sense. If Harbaugh's this brilliant coach that we all give him the credit for being, and I think he is, then why did you never just open it up and show? And so for me, it's just the ultimate shot in the dark. The reason people love him is because he spent any time with him. He interviews great. Like, he was born to do this. I spent 15 minutes with him at the national championship game, and I thought by the end of it, I was ready to run through a wall for like the weirdest dude I've ever talked to. Right? He's got that it factor. Number two, he's running a pro-style offense with Harbaugh, and he is the only quarterback in the draft that is doing that without help from the sidelines. Harbaugh truly gave him carte blanche at the sidelines to do a ton of work. So his processing information, which is sort of everybody's favorite phrase this year, his processing ability is better than most. So you have proof of concept that he can actually run an offense, that he's not just a puppet in a college offense. So people love that about him. And look, he's an athletic kid with a cannon of an arm. But, like, I just don't understand. We sit here and we talk about all the wins, but then when we sit there and talk about all the wins for Michael Penix Jr., it's like, yeah, but look at his wide receivers. What are we doing? Like, the arbitrary assignment of where we allow or don't allow benefit of the doubt just doesn't make any damn sense to me.
Yeah, I can trump you on that. If Harbaugh feels that strongly about JJ, then go ahead and trade Herbert and get on a rookie contract. Get on a rookie contract and trade, and you can go get a mint for Herbert, get a whole bunch of picks, have a rookie contract, and run wild, right? Like, that was always my aspect with it. Like, if JJ is so great and going to be the next Tom Brady, then I would trade Herbert for Tom Brady. Like, so go ahead and do it.
I never thought of that.
If you knew today that you could draft a quarterback that was as good as Justin Herbert, that's all he'd have to be. You knew that wins above replacement, he would be just as good as Justin Herbert. Why would you not do that? Why would you not reset? Because the Kings ransom you would get, and I know there's salary cap implications to this too, but like the Kings ransom you would get in picks, you could gut the entire roster. You could go out there and get three firsts and a couple of seconds probably for Justin Herbert at this point, top 10 quarterback in the NFL. You could rebuild the entire Charger roster in the course of the next 18 months while you bring in the quarterback that you think is the next Brady. You could absolutely do that. It's the reason that, like, look, it's amazing for Harbaugh to sit here and talk about a player when he has no skin in the game. Like, there's nobody that's ever going to hold him to the fire on it. So he just sits there and says, well, he's the best ever. He's the best ever. Of course. Because if Harbaugh can convince the entire world that J.J. McCarthy belongs in the top four, then quarterbacks, like I think, are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. What's that mean, y'all? That means the Chargers sitting at 5 get their pick of the best player in the draft that's not a quarterback. for a team that doesn't need a quarterback, or they could trade it for a king's ransom. What could they get for Marvin Harrison Jr. if they want to trade? They have their choice between Marvin Harrison Jr. and Joe Alt, the way this thing's going to break down, which is like sitting there saying you won the lottery because your neighbors all did the wrong thing and you just bought the right ticket.
Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports, hanging out with us here, talking all things NFL draft, of course. And Kev, never thought of that, but you're right, especially with a new coach taking over a franchise. A lot of times a coach comes in, if you can get a blank slate, to start over and not have restrictions salary cap wise, which the Chargers will have moving forward because Justin Herbert's paid now, that gives you a lot more flexibility as far as that's concerned. But with that, they've had to release some really good players on the offensive side of the ball, and that's why, Marvin Harrison Jr., who you were alluding to, Jason, is a very interesting pick for them at number 5 if he's available. You talked about the Cardinals trading out of that spot. That would open the door for that to happen. How dangerous would the Chargers be with the weapons they kept on defense and now taking the best player that's not a quarterback, as you talked about, and Marvin Harrison Jr., putting him with Justin Herbert? That makes the Chargers with Harbaugh a pretty scary team in the AFC.
I think it makes them better, but their offensive line is still hot garbage. The problem is they really need Joe Alt and Marvin Harrison Jr. both, and they might need another wide receiver. Now, the good news is this is a great draft to address wide receiver. Like, if I was the Chargers, if the board laid out the way we're describing, I would take Joe Alt because plug-and-play tackles in the NFL are hard to find. I do not believe that there are 32 starting caliber right and left tackles in the NFL right now. There just aren't. So if I can get one, I'm going to take one right there. And wins above replacement in the second round, I can get myself a wide receiver. There's several, they're going to find themselves later in the draft available. There's so many good ones. I would actually go offensive line first and then protect my quarterback and then figure out the rest of the weapons as we go. But your point is still a valid one. Like, if you're the Chargers, what's the line that's success? The only thing that I caution everybody is, I said this when the Raiders brought back Gruden, and it's he's going to gut the roster. Team's going to suck, and then they're going to try and rebuild, which is what happened. And then last year everybody was fawning over Sean Payton, it's he's going to get in there. He's going to realize the roster stinks. He's going to gut the thing. He's going to rebuild it. We'll see. Guess what they're doing? I think that's what Harbaugh's inevitably going to be doing. The only difference is he has Justin Herbert while he does it. So I think the Chargers are about to hit a 2-year rebuild period to try and then ramp up and be able to take on the Chiefs when the Chiefs are not paying even more money to Mahomes and more money to more players.
Jason, so Sam Farmer, his latest mock draft from Yahoo Sports put out, has the Cincinnati Bengals obviously picking at number 18. And, it's interesting sitting back and listening to all the Bengals fans kind of debate who they want to see taken at number 18. And I said, look, if it's a boring draft pick, that's a good thing because usually the big guys up front are pretty boring. And Sam Farmer has, J.C. Latham, the offensive tackle from Alabama, going at number 18. But there's been a lot of talk. What do you do if the tight end, and Brock Bowers is available at 18? What do you do if you're the Cincinnati Bengals and Brock Bowers is available at 18? Do you stick to your guns and got to continue to lock up front? Or do you go the route of tight end and try to replicate what the Chiefs are doing with that, expensive quarterback and a playmaker at tight end? What do you do if you're the Bengals in that situation?
And that's a great question. And I'm going to be honest with you. Any other team, I would say you take the fat guy. Any other team, without hesitation, I want big fat. If your favorite team, whoever anybody's favorite team is, only drafts fat guys in this entire draft, it's a home run. The offensive line play in this draft in the first 2 rounds, they're all going to be plug and play day one starting capability players. So I love all of that. Here's the one thing, though. You're talking about a team that over the course of Joe Burrow's entire career has proven that they can win without having a lot of help on the offensive line. And you mentioned the Chiefs, but I'll one-up you on that. I mean, look at our Final Four teams last year. Every one of the Final Four teams last year had a difference-making, oh, my God, tight end. Sam Laporta was that. Kittle was that. Kelsey's that. You can go up and down the list. Everybody had a tight end that could get that job done for them, right? So for me, I'm looking at it saying, if I can get Brock Bowers, and I'm going to put Brock Bowers in that offense right now, this year, 1 year, I got 1 year where I'm getting all this juice on it while I still got T, and I'm putting Jamar, and I'm putting Brock in there. I'm playing 7-on-7 football. The minute the thing is snapped, I'm just getting it out of Burrow's hands, and I'm hoping to God he can stay healthy. And if he can stay healthy, man, you win a lot of games that way. Brock is the difference maker. Brock is absolutely, just because we've seen hybrid tight ends like Pitts not work out in Atlanta, that's because their coach stinks. That's not because Pitts wasn't a good player, right? So, I think we got to remember that Brock Bowers is a transcendent difference making. He's going to, I'd be stunned if he's still sitting there at 18. If he's still sitting there at 18, how do you not take somebody that like not only helps you today, but if when T walks in a year, you're okay with that too? Like I think Brock would be a great pick there.
Last question for me. Am I crazy for thinking that whatever quarterback lands with the Minnesota Vikings, be it Jaden Daniels, be it Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, me, you, Kinner, whoever lands with them is going to be the most successful since they have like the most talent out there, with the Addison, the Jordan Jefferson, and the tight end. Am I crazy for that?
We talked to about 20 teams over the last 2 weeks, 20 people around different teams. We asked them all the same question with Yahoo. Like, what's the one situation that you think a quarterback will be the best in? And we went to a bunch of agents and we asked them the same situation. If it was your client, which team do you want to draft your quarterback? Every single, not most, every single answer of that question came back Minnesota Vikings. And it's because of who they've got catching the ball. It's because their offensive line is actually in better shape than a lot of them. And it's because people love their coaching that much, right? So, yeah, you're going to have a super smart coach that has a very complicated offense that's going to ask a lot of their quarterback. There is no doubt about that. So I think it might take a year to be successful, but you want to talk because of the amount of verbiage they're going to have to learn quickly. But you want to talk about the ability to be successful? Yeah, no, if I'm right now, if my kid was in this year's draft, I would be praying to every football god that somehow they ended up in Minnesota, because that is a far more stable, like, let's be honest, the chances are Washington's going to ruin a quarterback. The chances are this Patriots team, which I think next year could have the first pick in the draft, is going to ruin a quarterback. There's no proof of concept. The Raiders are the only thing that's consistent about the Raiders is their inconsistency. They'll ruin a quarterback. I don't think Sean Payton's going to be in this for the long haul, because it's much tougher to rebuild these teams than we think. And by the way, who is Belichick without Brady, right? So maybe it took a little help from Breeze in the longest. So I think the Broncos could ruin a quarterback. I don't think the Vikings would ruin anybody. I think that they would actually be a career-saving destination.
Absolutely. If I'm Jaden Daniels or any of those other quarterbacks, I'm calling Minnesota, begging them to come get me, because you show in Washington, D.C., it's over. Your career is going to be over just like Justin Fields and Mac Jones. Like you're going to be on your next team before your contract is even over.
Yeah, you're going to be traded for a 6th-round pick at a hot dog on a stick, and then like that's it. That's all you got.
And you're going to be the one holding the bag saying you sucked. Like,
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, we always look at these players and we're like, oh, that player was such a bust. Maybe we should start looking at the institution that drafted the player and ask what part they play in the fact that player didn't pan out. I'm just saying.
Jason, last thing on the way about Kev Steelers about that, because Justin Fields is a good example of that. There's not many examples of guys who are drafted and it doesn't work out, and then all of a sudden they just emerge into a star in their next in their next landing spot. Justin Fields could be the first one to do that. Do you believe that could be the case? How interesting and unique is that quarterback battle in Pittsburgh going to be, in your opinion? We haven't talked since the quarterback shakeup there. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields in Pittsburgh. It's AFC North is a very interesting division, no doubt about it. And a lot of it has to do with that quarterback battle in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and frankly, I love it for Justin. It's a good opportunity. Like, Justin is somebody that when he was drafted, I was like, man, it's going to be great. Like, I really thought Justin was going to be very good. He didn't turn out to be that way, but he goes someplace that they do two things in Pittsburgh that I think he's going to need. One, they coach well, obviously, and need that, like Tomlin coaches well. Their offensive play calling has been, disastrous for years. But Tomlin coaches well. And then the other part of it is, one thing we know they do is they shut out all the noise. Tomlin is so good at making sure that everybody just knows exactly what they're doing and everybody knows exactly what's expected of them. And he finds a way to release some of that pressure valve. And I think if you're Justin Fields, you spent the last couple of years, every ounce of your energy has been spent trying to prove that you don't suck, right? And so now you get to go somewhere where, frankly, the expectations are invisible anyway. And Tomlin has always been the guy that can take a backpack full of stress on him. He's great at just turning around saying, you don't worry about any of that. I'll get that. Like, there's a reason that when players leave Pittsburgh, all of a sudden it feels like it's a catastrophe for the player. It's because they're out of the insulated environment that Tomlin figured out how to create. I think that really benefits Justin Fields. So do I think it's going to turn around and be this big home run? No, I don't. But do I think he has a chance to be capable? Yeah, I still think Justin Fields can be a capable starter. And if we start to recalibrate that away from the draft expectation and the 5th-year contract expectation and all these things, and just look at it and say, hey, you got a middle of the road quarterback that can win you enough games to get you in the playoffs. I think he can be that.
All right, Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports. Jason, you the man. We appreciate you giving us some time, getting off the flight and everything, and enjoy the rest of your week, and we look forward to your draft coverage. Thank you.
Appreciate you, boys. Always great talking. Thanks for having me.
Peace. All right, good stuff. Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports. You'll hear him, with us every week throughout the NFL and college football season. He's been coming on with us for years, going back to when he was on the morning show with Golick and Wingo at the time. And then, of course, he was doing First Take, Your Take. He was with ESPN before moving over to Yahoo, so we appreciate him taking some time and hanging out with us here ahead of the draft coming up on Thursday night. But interesting takeaway about the Bowers thing with the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll kind of touch on that lightly when we come back. We got some NBA playoff talk coming up around the corner. Shaw did not like the Justin Herbert opinion, so there's that.
Sorry.
More of the Kinner and Kev Show, 1410 ESPN Radio, Chatterbox Sports on YouTube. We'll be right back.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Today, plentiful sunshine, high around 65. Tonight, going to be partly cloudy through the evening, then becoming cloudy after midnight, a low of 48 degrees. Tomorrow, for your Tuesday, cloudy with occasional rain in the afternoon and a high around 65. I'm Adam Jellick for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hey, everyone. It's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. See Lance Roofing and Siding at their new location at 6903 Dayton Springfield Road in Enid. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722. Online at lanceroofing.com.
Whether we're in your home for a new McAfee installation, a scheduled maintenance, or a repair, you can count on McAfee to do what we say we'll do when we say we'll do it. We care about the services we provide and the products we install in your home, tailor-fitting our work to your family's needs through the entire process. We stand behind what we do, and we're proud to put our name on it. Breathe easy, choose McAfee, or have a cow.
Urology Specialists of Ohio are here for you. Men, your good health is important to them. Their knowledge of specific male anatomy, prostate issues, and how to help in your healing is their main focus. Urology Specialists of Ohio are now accepting new patients at all locations: Beaver Creek, Springfield, Urbana, Xenia, and London. They have been in practice for over 20 years with over 80 years of experience between 5 physicians. Call today. They can schedule your appointment in a timely manner with little wait time. Online at urologyspecialistofohio.com.
Hey, let me tell you about the advantages of driving with my friends at Cordell Transportation. First of all, for the new year, they're offering brand new equipment to drive. They purchased new equipment, and not a lot of people could say that, but they've got it, and they're ready to roll with you. Cordell Transportation is offering an incredible $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months. If you're an experienced Class A CDL driver looking for excellent benefits, home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freights, then apply today online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Frickers doubles your savings when you use the Frickers app. Frickers doubles your points on everyday value menu item. Monday, boneless frickin' chicken wings. Double points on the Frickers app. Tuesday, traditional frickin' chicken wings. Double points. Wednesday, sirloin steak. Double points. Thursday, frickin' chicken chunks. Double points on the Frickers app. When you download the Frickers app, you can even earn points by choosing delivery. Frickers mobile app now offers delivery. Everyday values, double points, and delivery all by downloading the Frickers app. Your best value is always Frickers. Delivery participation and hours may vary by location.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With us for 40 days of consistency. All over Febreze car clips right on your face. You know my car's my happy place. Keep a smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Remarkable change begins with daring to be different. Baby, I'm on a mission with Boost Mobile to putting the latest phones in the hands of more people. Introducing the Signature Coach Prime Razor, only from Boost Mobile. Rush to your nearest Boost Mobile retailer and get your Signature Coach Prime Razor on us. Get after it.
Limited time discount available online only while supplies last. Taxes extra. New customers only. Must activate the device within 30 days to avoid paying full price. Offer subject to change.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with finance.
Anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Make sure you've liked and followed the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. Enter contests. Weigh in on the latest sports debates. Plus, you can watch Kinner and Kev weekdays at 3 p.m. Yeah, as if listening to them isn't bad enough. Now you can see them. Reds, Bengals, Browns, Buckeyes, and more. Follow the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook.
All right, good stuff there. Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports. Appreciate him taking some time. Oh, man, you have too much free time on your hands. This ain't Texas, right?
I like that.
That's the caption writes itself as far as that goes. But we welcome you back. It's the Kinner Kev Show, 1410 ESPN Radio, Chatterbox Sports on YouTube. So interesting couple of talking points out of that conversation with Jason. So Shaw didn't like the opinion about the Justin Herbert. Let's be clear. Justin Herbert's not getting traded. No one's trading Justin Herbert. The point that Kev was trying to make, and maybe I'm, correct me if I'm putting words in your mouth, but basically calling out Harbaugh for saying the best player, the best quarterback in the NFL is J.J. McCarthy. The best quarterback in this draft is J.J. McCarthy. Well, Harbaugh, put your money where your mouth is. If you truly believe that, most coaches that take over a team that is strapped financially because all the money is pumped into the quarterback, a lot of times coaches want to come in and wipe the slate clean and start over with their guys. So really, no one would blame you if you wanted to wipe the slate clean. To Kev's point, you draft J.J. McCarthy at number 5 if you're the Chargers. You have a quarterback on a rookie deal, the best quarterback in the NFL, according to Harbaugh. And now you have financial flexibility to go do what you need to do. And we've seen teams turn it around super quick. The Houston Texans picking atop the draft in the divisional round of the playoffs last year, won their division because why? Oh, they got the quarterback right? Look at the Bengals. They win 2 games. They win 4 games. 2 years later, they're in a Super Bowl. Why? Because they got the quarterback right. So just saying, like, it's not just that they got the quarterback right. You get the quarterback right, and you have financial flexibility. Because the Bengals still have the quarterback right. It's just not going to be as simple moving forward because the quarterback that they got right cost a lot of money. So there you go. So no, teams are not like the Chargers aren't going to trade Justin Herbert. Like I'm assuming that's
absolutely. There's cap implications. Like they would still owe him a ton of money. Even though like they trade him. But like my whole thing is like, yes, you're pumping up your guy. You want your guy to go as high as humanly possible. You're pumping up your guy. But like, you mean to tell me that if he's the best Michigan quarterback of all time, meaning he's better than Tom Brady, if Tom Brady is out there available, you're trading Justin Herbert for Tom Brady, especially a Tom Brady that you pay a bag of nickels to. So that's all I'm saying.
Another interesting talking point from our conversation with Jason Fitz from Yahoo Sports. We were talking about the Bengals pick at number 18. And I know that it's not a controversial pick by any means, but there's options. Look, the Bengals have they have some holes to fill. They had the second worst defense in the NFL last year, second worst run game, but you're not going to fix all of that with that number 18 pick. And the thing is they had a chance to fix all of that in free agency. I don't think they did the best job. They addressed some issues. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they did the best job. Okay. We've been through that, but my opinion on that doesn't matter right now. The point is when you look at this number 18 pick, if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you can go offensive line, you can go defensive line, or you can go offensive playmaker. And I think that the Bengals have a chance to do that. And I think that the dilemma, I think that the Bengals aren't hoping this guy's off the board, but if Brock Bowers is off the board, it makes their decision a little bit simpler at number 18. I do believe Brock Bowers being available at 18 creates some doubt. It creates a little bit of uneasiness in that Bengals war room because you look, and he brought up a lot of, look at all the teams that were in the AFC NFC championship game. Look at all the teams that are Super Bowl contenders. They all have elite tight ends. They all have tight ends who are in some facet a part of their offensive repertoire. But in the Bengals' defense, there's no other team built like the Cincinnati Bengals. No other team in the NFL has an elite top 3 quarterback and 2 number 1 wide receivers. But what Brock Bowers represents to the Cincinnati Bengals, to me, is life after money is distributed through your roster. Brock Bowers that's what Travis Kelce represented to the Kansas City Chiefs. Who's better at their position? Travis Kelce at his, Tyreek Hill at his. Travis Kelce is very, very good, but Tyreek Hill is better at his. But Tyreek Hill costs $30 million. Mm-hmm. Travis Kelce costs, 12, 13, 14 million in that range? So a dynamic, dominant pass catcher at the rate of a tight end, you're going to go with the tight end. It just makes more sense. So the bottom line is the Bengals are heading in a direction where you can't afford T, Jamar, and Tyler Boyd. That's why Tyler Boyd's gone. That's why T will be gone after this. Brock Bowers represents the future of how they're going to navigate this offense. This pick isn't always just about this upcoming season, but Jason Fitz made a good point. It kind of is about this upcoming season if you take a dynamic playmaking tight end in Brock Bowers. So I asked him, I said, if Brock Bowers is available, A lot of mock drafts. This one has J.C. Latham going number 18 to the Bengals, according to Yahoo Sports mock draft and Sam Farmer. But if Brock Bowers is available, do you rethink that? Do you go in the direction of tight end? Here's what Jason Fitz had to say when he joined us just about 15 minutes ago.
And that's a great question, and I'm going to be honest with you. Any other team, I would say you take the fat guy. Any other team, without hesitation, I want big fat. Like if your favorite team, whoever anybody's favorite team is, only drafts fat guys in this entire draft, it's a home run. The offensive line play in this draft in the first 2 rounds, they're all going to be plug and play day one starting capability players. So I love all of that. Here's the one thing though. You're talking about a team that over the course of Joe Burrow's entire career has proven that they can win without having a lot of help on the offensive line. And you mentioned the Chiefs, but I'll one up you on that. I mean, look at our Final Four teams last year. Every one of the Final Four teams last year had a difference-making, oh, my God, tight end. Sam Laporta was that. Kittle was that. Kelsey's that. Like, you can go up and down the list. Everybody had a tight end that could get that job done for them, right? So, for me, I'm looking at it saying, if I can get Brock Bowers, and I'm going to put Brock Bowers in that offense right now, this year, 1 year, I got 1 year where I'm getting all this juice on it while I still got T, and I'm putting Jamar, and I'm putting Brock in there. Like, I'm playing 7-on-7 football. Like, the minute the thing is snapped, I'm just getting it out of Burrow's hands, and I'm hoping to God he can stay healthy. And if he can stay healthy, man, you win a lot of games that way.
So that, again, interesting takeaway as far as that's concerned. Any other team, any other situation, you go with the big guys up front. But you could say, well, there's tight ends in next year's draft. Not like this. Not according to the analysts, not according to the scouts, not according to everyone out there that has said that this is a generational tight end that is coming out of Georgia. So if you're the Cincinnati Bengals and you look at how the top teams in the NFL are structured, you could say, well, we're a top team. We're not structured that way. You're also a team that had a rookie quarterback, a rookie wide receiver, and, a veteran wide receiver that wasn't paid top dollar. That's why the Bengals are so explosive so quickly, is because they were fortunate that they hit on one wide receivers and hit on their quarterback. And that's really what turned everything around right off the bat. That's not who the Bengals will be here in a year. That's not who the Bengals will be here in 2 years. This pick is more about the future, but also, as you heard Jason Fitz just say, Kev, it just provides them with an even more explosive option in that offense. Offensive line, a little shaky. Well, you have so many options to get rid of that football deep to Jamar, obviously, T. Higgins there, and then obviously the tight end, with Bowers as far as that's concerned. I know they had a Gesicki and all that stuff too, but your thoughts on Fitz's takeaway there?
I understand 100% what he's saying, because I'm looking at all these mock drafts. They always constantly have the Bengals taking C.J. Latham or Marius Mims, offensive tackles. Why do you need another offensive tackle that's not going to play offensive tackle his rookie year? It's not going to take Orlando Brown's job. You just signed Trent Brown. Those are your guys for this upcoming season. So you're going to draft this said rookie and put him at one of these guard spots. And then when you probably move on from Trent Brown, he kicks back over to right tackle the following year. The Cincinnati Bengals have shown that they're going to go with the playmaker. So if Bowers is there, they're going to draft him. And if Bowers isn't there, they're probably going to draft Brian Thompson out of LSU, another big wide receiver. Like, they're going to get the offensive playmaker. If Brian Thomas isn't there, they're probably going to grab A.D. Mitchell. They're going to get an offensive weapon, because you technically, quote unquote, you always need offensive linemen, but your first round pick doesn't make any sense to draft him when he's not even going to be playing the position that he's supposed to play. He's going to play guard if you draft an offensive tackle right here, right now. So go ahead and get the offensive weapon, be it Bowers, be it Thomas out of LSU, or A.D. Mitchell. Get the offensive weapon, because guess what? Next year when T. Higgins is gone, they can slide right over. And with a guy like Brian Thomas and A.D. Mitchell, they have played the slot in college. I mean, in college, they don't just line you up in one spot like they do in the NFL. They line you up all over the place so they can get you a playmaker with the ball. They're going to draft an offensive playmaker. They're not going to draft an offensive line.
No, and I'm with you. That's why I'm like, if Brock Bowers is there, and if Jason and everyone says too, because everyone gets quarterback heavy, if teams are moving up, or if 6 quarterbacks go in the first 17 picks, I have a hard time believing that Bowers is one of those picks in the top 17 at that point. He very well realistically could be there.
I think he's going to go to the Jets.
If Aaron Rodgers has his way, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't Aaron Rodgers have his way? I mean, he quote unquote runs the organization as is. You think he's going to quote unquote allow them to plan for the future? No, he's planning for right now. He don't care about it. I mean, that's the whole reason he's with the Jets. Every time that Green Bay playing for the future, he threw a hissy fit.
Joe Burrow should be wanting that same thing, though.
Absolutely.
He should be wanting that Brock Bowers pick, too.
Bowers or offensive weapon. They are not going offensive line. They're not going offensive line. They got Orlando Brown Jr., spent a lot of money on that. Tron Brown, you sign him in free agency. Offensive weapon.
Let me ask you, and I'm not trying to stir the pot here. We're going to talk some NBA coming up or stepping away, but are we 1,000,000% sure that Jamar Chase will be a Bengal long-term? Are we 1,000,000% sure? There is not one piece of evidence around the NFL of how rosters are constructed that it makes any sense at all. It makes sense why you want Jamar and Joe together, but it doesn't make a lick of financial sense whatsoever for a team that has offense or that has financial issues in the past. Maybe it's a new day and age, who knows? But Kev, I'm not trying to stir the pot. I would, if I was a Bengals fan, even I would be sitting back, because this is the same fan base that told me 2 years ago, oh, they will for sure be the big three locked up for many, many moons. And then they accepted that T wasn't going to be there. Now here we are to this. We're talking $35 million a year for Jamar Chase with a quarterback that's making 55. And don't tell me, oh, it's structured in the back end and all that. I don't want to hear any of that. If that's the case, the Chiefs, with a way better front office, would have figured out how to keep Tyreek Hill and their tight end and Travis Kelce. That's all I'm trying to say is that's why that pick is also, it's more of an insurance pick as well, because you need to have playmakers in that Bengals offense, not just this upcoming season, but long-term. Who knows what that Jamar Chase negotiation is going to be when it's all said and done. I can't fathom how the Cincinnati Bengals of all teams could pay. I mean, we're talking $90 million a year to a quarterback and one wide receiver. That I just can't fathom that.
I would put it 85% chance that he is with the Cincinnati Bengals. If
it's not 100%, and that's fair.
If T. Higgins signs a contract, then he's gone, because you're not going to be able to pay both. Like if T. Higgins signs like a $28 million contract, then Jamar Chase is probably going to get traded for like 2 first-round picks.
Fair. Not trying to stir the pot. I just need people to be really realistic about this, because this idea that it's just as simple, Jamar's going to be a Bengal. I've said this for years. If the Kansas City Chiefs could move on from Tyreek Hill, who they actually won a Super Bowl with, this idea that the Bengals can't move on from Jamar Chase, that's just not accurate. That's just not an accurate. That's a homer take. That's not a realistic take. I'm just saying, keep that in mind too, because this draft could tell you that Bowers is the answer to that. He's not a wide receiver, but
pass catcher though.
You know, he's a pass catcher. He's a playmaker, and he checks off multiple boxes. It'll be interesting to see. No doubt about it. Kinner and Kev, 1410 ESPN Radio, Chatterbox Sports. We'll be right back.
Save big money on your next project right now at Menards. Protect your roof with Sealbest White Elastomeric Roof Coating. It has a 10-year warranty, reflects sunlight, and saves you money on energy costs. Pick up a 4.75-gallon pail of Sealbest White Elastomeric Roof Coating. On sale now through April 28th. Visit the store and Menards.com to see all of our great deals going on now in our weekly flyer.
Save big money at Menards.
It's Kubota Orange Days. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And now through June 30th, get 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off L3302 tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see a full line of Kubota construction equipment. Or check us out online at ColumbusEquipment.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
By now, you should know Audio Etc. has all the same sales and deals on TVs and projectors as everyone else. But did you know we also have some of the world's best hi-fi? Hi, this is Kirby from Audio Etc. And we do have some of the best home theater, high-fidelity gear on the planet. Not only do we have your favorite brands like Clip speakers and SVS subwoofers, but audiophile greats from Bowers & Wilkins, Kef, NAD, Marantz, Cambridge, Mark Levinson, and plenty of vinyl and tube gear. Plus exotics you only see in the the magazines. Stop by today and visit Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom and see and audition the best audio and video it has to offer. While you're in, check out our huge selection of pre-owned vintage gear. A great way to afford great gear otherwise out of reach, or revisit old classics. Audio Etc. Sound advice you can trust. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon in Centerville, or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom.
I don't know what I want to do. I'm just not sure that college is right for me.
Have you considered a career in dental assisting? I love my job as a dental assistant. I have flexible work hours, the money is good, and I get to work in a professional, people-oriented dental office. What I really love about my job is knowing that I give people a healthy smile.
For more information about becoming a dental assistant, contact your high school guidance counselor. Or if you are no longer in school, talk to a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Get a warm, sweet Cinnabon pull-apart from Wendy's today at participating U.S. Wendy's. Cinnabon is a registered trademark of Cinnabon franchisor.
You want more Reds talk? Don't miss Wing Reds Weekly with Adam Campbell. Sunday nights at 6 p.m. right here on Dayton's radio home of Cincinnati Reds baseball. 1410 ESPN Radio.
Kinner Kev Show, 1410 ESPN Radio, Chatterbox Sports on YouTube. We appreciate you hanging out with us here this afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Reds coming off of a shutout loss last night. They're kind of in this weird little pattern, Kev, where they swept the White Sox. All right. Then they got swept by the Mariners. Then they swept the Angels. They lose game one against the Phillies. Big series with the Phillies. We talked about, I think for the next 30 games, I thought I read a little bit ago, every team is in first or second place in their division right now. Everyone above 500. The Reds, remaining at 500 is going to be key. That's a win. That's a win in my eyes as far as that's concerned. But the lineup very similar to yesterday, so we'll talk about that coming up here in just a moment. But Andrew Abbott on the mound for the Reds, 1-2 in the season, 2.70 ERA. Look, at this point, like ERA, do people even care about the ERA at this point? Like it's just, it's all the XWOC divided by 2 times 5. Put it in a spinner,
squared pi.
Yeah. Put it on a slide, look at it, through a lens and see what the production is. So we'll see. But Andrew Abbott going up against Sanchez tonight for the Phillies. And that's coming up here later on tonight. Dayton's radio home of Cincinnati Reds baseball, 1410 Wing AM, 610 the first pitch, 640. 640 is the first pitch. 610 is when coverage begins, as far as that's concerned. So, what did Shaw say before? I don't want him to sidetrack us too much. That is definitely not the goal of all this. So let me see. What did he say? He said, J.J. McCarthy was better at Michigan than Tom Brady. I don't understand why that's a debate. Did we debate that? Did you brought up Tom Brady earlier about something?
Yeah, he said he was the best quarterback ever at Michigan.
So,
him being Jim Harbaugh.
J.J. McCarthy's the winningest quarterback at Michigan. Is he better than Tom Brady at Michigan?
No.
So, okay.
No, Tom Brady. I wouldn't say Tom Brady was the best quarterback at Michigan, but he definitely had a lot of wins. Alternated a lot. What's buddy name? Was it Hinton that played baseball and played for the Cowboys? Henson. Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, but when they needed something, who did they go to? They went to number 10. He wore 10 at Michigan, by the way. They went to him. I believe it was the Orange Bowl. They beat Bama in the Orange Bowl. That was the Bama team that had Sean Alexander and those guys. When they needed a win, they went to 10. I wouldn't say he was the best quarterback at Michigan. I think that would be Greasy. I think that would be Brian Greasy was the best quarterback, at least the best quarterback I've ever seen play at Michigan. But when you invoke the name Tom Brady and say best ever, that's a wide statement. It's a very large statement.
So to be fair, Shaw said JJ was better at Michigan than Tom. He goes, I don't understand why that's a debate.
You don't?
Yeah, I mean, the program itself told you how irrelevant JJ was by not running the ball in the second half. And again, like they bragged about how little they needed to use JJ McCarthy. It wasn't because they were dominating opponents. It was just because like, hey, we're a run team. Like, I don't know. It's an interesting little, like they won a lot with him at quarterback.
Yeah,
still remember. I mean, they had to overcome a lot of his turnovers in the playoffs and all that fun stuff. I mean, I'm still remembering the national championship game, the
TCU game.
Yeah.
TCU.
Oh, you're right. I mean, it was horrendous.
I mean, obviously the defense didn't play well for Michigan, giving up those big plays and everything like that. But TCU scored 14 points off of pick sixes thrown by him. And another thing about like JJ is like you look at the game of football and it's going to sound crazy, but like I just view him as a cog in the wheel. Like I don't view him as the powering force. Like as much as I don't think Tim Tebow was a good quarterback in the pro game, he was the engine that fueled the Florida Gators. So in my opinion, JJ McCarthy is AJ McCarron. JJ McCarthy is Greg McElroy. He's the starting quarterback on the team. He's a cog in the wheel. Not saying that anybody else could have did that, but like he isn't the force that's pushing them. The force that pushed them was great coaching, great offensive line play, probably one of the best college defenses of the last 10 years.
Cheating.
Yeah, don't forget that. That was what fueled them to victories. Yes, he helped. Could I go out there and do what he did? Absolutely not. But I think there's multiple people that could have went out there and did what he did. He was a cog in the wheel. I think he was a cog in the wheel to help them get over the hump. His athleticism definitely helped him get over the top as well. That was something that McNamara didn't have. JJ's athletic ability, doesn't have JJ's arm, but I don't think that JJ McCarthy is something, oh my gosh, drop your jaw, so special, like, oh my goodness, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I think he's a cog in the wheel.
518-1410. Ron asked if we're taking calls. Yes, the phone lines are open.
Ring my bell, bro.
We have a few more minutes here on Chatterbox, but NBA action coming up tonight. So I thought the first game ones of the NBA playoffs, a lot of snoozers, right? Not bad games,
especially
but just
Sunday. Sunday was a blowout city.
But that's good teams taking care of business the way that they should. But then last night, like I said, I was working out last night. Shout out Brad Mays, Barefoot Gym, doing, trying to clanging and banging, just trying to get in shape, right? Like round's still a shape for me. And that's, it is what it is. But checking my phone and I'm just trying to get updates on the Reds game, just trying to get up. And I'm like, there's 20 straight tweets of this crazy, whether it was the no call, whether it was the physicality, whether it was just the big time shots. Brunson didn't play well, but hit the big shot, like so many things. And it was all about this Knicks Sixers finish. So I had to run to the TV. I had to find the channel, I had to, tune in, and just different energy, different vibe. Is playoff basketball. That's what it's all about. And then to follow that up with that great Lakers game last night, no matter how hot the Lakers started out, LeBron was just playing at a different level last night. I mean, he's been dominant against this Nuggets team. It's just been the rest of the Nuggets or the rest of the Lakers that have not rose to the occasion as far as that's concerned. But 10 straight losses now. But again, it was tied. The announcers were talking overtime. I was like, I can't stay up for an overtime. A little part of me was happy that the game was dagger. The game winner last night, Jamal Murray. Pretty wild. The guy's never been an NBA All-Star.
Man, it was insane last night in the association. Probably the most insane thing was if you had YouTube TV, you were not able to watch the Cavs and Magic game. I was one of those people that was very upset about that. Blacked out in our area, apparently. But anyway, going on to the games that I actually did see, the Knicks and Philly, that's old school, man. Like this is playoff basketball. And to your point, no, they don't play with this type of intensity during the regular season. But you saw it ramped up last night. You saw physical basketball. You saw guys getting fouled. You saw guys putting everything they had out there. I mean, you have your best player in Jalen Brunson being absolutely horrible. But when they needed it, absolutely needed it, he was 0 for 5 from 3, hit the 3 to cut it to a one-possession game. They get the steal. DiVincenzo shoots, misses. Monster rebound offensive. Get another shot. Get another offensive rebound. Kick it out. DiVincenzo buries the 3. And then what seemed like Philly was about to tie it at one game apiece switches to the Knicks being up 2-0, heartbreaker for the Philadelphia 76ers. And I did not see the game, that being the game that the Lakers in Portland, because I was so hyped, I was drained, and I fell asleep before the first quarter was even over. But I'm watching the highlights. I mean, it's definitely a heartbreaker, obviously, for the Lakers and Lakers fans out there, because you got it. You got it. You got LeBron giving you a great game. You got AD giving you a great game. You got D'Lo stepping up to the plate, and you still lose. You're up, what was 20, 25 points early in the second quarter. Now, people say, oh, man, you can't blow that type of league. Man, this is the NBA, man. 20 points is absolutely nothing in the NBA, man. Like, it's a 20-point league.
Shots.
Yeah, that's nothing in the association. Now you're up 20 in the fourth quarter, totally different ball game. Up 20 in the second quarter, not a big deal. Teams come back from that all the time. But, like, just a heartbreaker for the Lakers. But, you got to tip your cap to the best player in basketball, Jokic, and, the champs. Like the Lakers be so close. So close. It's almost, I'm a younger brother, so I know this feeling, playing your brother or older sibling in something, and they kind of mess with you, let you think you can win, and then at the absolute last second, snatch it away from you. That's what it seems like the Nuggets are doing with the Lakers right now. Like, hey, yeah, you can win, you can win, you can win. No, you can't.
Yeah, this series reminds me, one of my favorite, this rivalry doesn't get the talk that it does. And this, I'm not comparing this to a rivalry for say, but the Kings Lakers rivalry from the 2000s, like into the early 2000s, like that's what this, or the Kings had the Lakers number over and over and over. And then the Lakers finally were able to put that together. I mean, that rivalry, those two teams hated each other so bad that they fought in preseason games. I mean, they
Doug Christie,
like,
right?
Doug Christie. Him and his wife have fighting.
Insane.
Yeah, but so like those two teams, but like the Kings team, that was that team that the Lakers they struggled in the regular season. That was the team they just couldn't overcome. But this is last year's Western Conference Finals. They couldn't overcome. They get swept, but 4-game sweep, but the most competitive 4-game sweep for whatever kind of banner you hang for that. And we're off to that same kind of run in this one. But that's what makes last night's game so bad, is because you had that game won. You had that lead late. Yes, it was 20 points, and it was a race like that, as far as that's concerned. But, there are concerns too. You had Anthony Davis come out in the post game and say, there are just too many times, too many stretches where we don't know what we're doing at either end of the floor. You threw your coach under the bus, whether it's that or not. Darvin Ham, if they lose this series, he will eat it for that. But this Lakers team, they're right there. That's the best team in the NBA that they're going up against. I know better records out there, all that stuff. But to me, Denver, defending NBA champions, that's the best team in the NBA. And you're that close. And you have that lead, and you're on the road, and a chance to return to the Staples Center, wherever the hell they call it now. It's always Staples Center to me. I'm 34 and I'm officially old. I'm not adapting to the times. I don't care what the company policy is.
What's the name of the Cleveland baseball team, Kinner?
The Cleveland baseball team? Oh, the Guardians. But no, like they had a chance to return home to the Staples Center, tied at 1 game apiece. And now you're down 0-2, and now it basically sets up a must-win. This game 3 is a must-win. You lose this game, it is over. The series is over. And winning the game doesn't mean that the series is yours, but you live to fight another day. But this game 3 coming up, here in a few days, it is a must-win for LeBron and the Lakers, a potential first-round exit for LeBron.
It's crucial. It's crucial, man. I mean, you talk about like some of the missed calls, but like I think the ending to these games, you're not talking about the missed calls. I know, like, Tyrese Maxey got grabbed, and definitely a blown call by the referees right there. That was definitely a foul that would have gave Philly the possession of the ball, him shooting free throws, them still up a bucket. So that played a factor in the game. I know D'Lo drove to the lane and got smacked in the face with a no call. But I mean, the ending of these games with the ball going through the basket and the crowd going absolutely crazy, like that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see in playoff basketball. And last night, the association definitely delivered.
Kinner and Kev, 1410 ESPN Radio, Chatterbox Sports. We're done on Chatterbox. I want to give a shout out to Elliot and Casey, by the way. They do so, I mean, really Trace and, everyone over there, they all do a great job. But, Elliot and Casey, especially just, communicating with him throughout the day. They kill it. They do a great job. They kill it on their show earlier in the day. Then they get the show repurposed for the run on our station. And then they're producing all of our stuff behind the scenes. So I just want to make sure we're giving them a shout out. I appreciate the hell out of them. So thank you guys. But that wraps it up for us here today. We have another hour on 1410 ESPN Radio. We got Reds baseball coming up later on tonight. 6:10, the coverage begins with the 6:40 first pitch. That's all coming up. Hour 3 next, 1410 ESPN Radio, Chatterbox Sports on YouTube.
Query and Company. I'm going to be keeping you company for the next few hours. You are not going to believe the company. This company.
You're going to bankrupt your mama's company?
At least I have the radio to keep me company. On 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Jimmy, I'm prepared on this Friday primarily because I am leaving town in, 4 hours. So I can escape the madness and the paparazzi that comes with the absurd statement I'm about to give. I'm prepared. By the way, the Hubler Automotive Group, drivehubler.com studios, we have the new mic flags, which are wonderful. But I noticed yesterday that, and this is probably the best thing about them, you can't see me now on the YouTube in the break room, right?
Yeah, you got to angle it so that people can see you.
That might be the only time you ever say that it may be a benefit to somebody to not see your face.
Well, I don't want people to get too excited during the lunch hour, Eddie, right? I mean, we have today's Friday, which means we have our Franciscan Health Good for the Heart segment coming up. I don't want people having heart palpitations because they're seeing too much of this sexy mug, right?
All right.
But with everything going on today, I mean, we've got the Pacers coming up on Sunday. We are 6 days from the draft. We have, believe it or not, IU spring football. Pat Boylan was working that, and we're going to talk to him, kind of double dip with Pat on different areas of which to talk about. I mean, there's a ton going on.
Can we say the first part again?
Double dip?
No, the first part of your sentence.
Sexiness?
The first part of what is going on in the city.
A potpourri? Playoffs?
Exactly. Pacers are back in the playoffs. Like that, I feel like we're slightly, maybe not we, and maybe it's because there's so many, our city's so great at conventions. There's always stuff going on here. Maybe it's just because that my drive is surrounded by the last couple of days, the firefighters convention. I know I'm butchering what that actually is, but there's just a lot of fire trucks around. But I feel like I haven't taken in the full aspect of Pacers are back in the playoffs. Like not in the play-in itself. First time in 4 years, they were involved significantly in the postseason.
It is cool. To me, this time of year is just the best when the weather's starting to break and you go to shoot around in the late afternoon. You know, now obviously it's usually when we're on, but when I worked in TV in particular, I just loved it. Going to shoot around, getting quotes, and then going to City Market when that was still a thing, getting something to eat. All of it was great. And you think about all the games where you went down and it was cold outside and it was dark by 5 o'clock as you're walking in the arena, and you're like, to be able to continue the season to the point where then there's great weather walking in and out of the arena is like the goal, right?
Yes, for sure.
And Jimmy, they and we'll talk about this plenty over the course of today. They've transitioned from, hey, the playoffs are great because it's a learning experience for a young team, to let's see what they can do now, right? Like, let's go. This is a winnable series for them.
I mean, it changed in a lot of different areas this season. The most notable one is the acquisition of Pascal Siakam that clearly changed, I think, the trajectory of where they could go. A lot of people, myself included, prior to the season, thought they could make the playoffs and avoid the play-in altogether. But it was clear that that was the mission of the franchise once they go out to make that trade for Pascal Siakam. And the way that they're constructed now, I mean, look, there are noted absences. Like I feel bad for and feel like we're not seeing the perfect picture of what these Pacers could be next year because of the fact that there's no Benedict Mather. I know he's been out for over a month now, but like feel bad for him that he's getting robbed of his first playoff taste. And he's going to have to experience that in street clothes because of his injury. But in terms of the group that got you there, this is a fun team. We've known that all year, but they beat you in a lot of different ways. And if they are able to dictate pace and be, to put it in simple terms I can, be the fun Pacers that they were to start the year and be the electric Pacers they were to close the season, that combined with the Giannis injury and the way they match up against Milwaukee, yes, it's a very winnable series. I expect the Pacers, even as an underdog based on seed line, to go into this series and take care of business and be moving on to the second round for the first time in a decade.
It'd be great, and it would be beneficial. We'll break down how that could happen. Because I'm getting on a flight, I won't be here, unfortunately, I know Game 1's taking place in Milwaukee.
Sure.
Won't be here on Sunday. I'm going to be in Long Beach for IndyCar. But I'm going to lead today's show with a statement